Tonight, on a very special episode of TV Retrospective.
Way back in the 1980s, secret government employees dug up famous guys and ladies and made our music.
I hate you.
I love it.
Hello and welcome to TV Retrospective, where we retrospectively look back at TV. I'm Conor.
Erik.
And I'm Ethan.
And today we watched the 2002 to 2003 show, Clone High.
We watched it ages ago.
Well, yes, we did, but, the recording kind of
Yeah.
I blame
screwed
Ethan.
itself.
Sure. I mean, fair enough, but...
You left early in the first recording.
Also, I'm Ben, but I haven't seen his show, so I'm not going to
Go and watch it, it's on YouTube!
It's all on YouTube. It's 4 hours long.
Okay, I'll be there at some point. I'll just sit here quiet.
I'll send you a link.
Or I could show it to be today after the podcast.
Or that too, that would be good. Alright, so Clone High is set in a high school in the fictional town of Exclamation, USA, and is secretly being run by an elaborate military experiment orchestrated by the government office called the Secret Board of Shadowy Figures. The school is entirely populated by the clones of famous historical figures that have been created and raised with the intent of having various strengths and abilities harnessed by the United States military. That's the plot.
But the question is, why did they clone Elvis?
They cloned Elvis twice.
Yeah, but why?
Why? Because, again,
No!
you have singing to, I don't know. Look, I don't know, why did they clone
But why twice?
Because the first one had the issues that the actual Elvis had later in his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair.
Right, so, that's the premise of the show. Overall, I think it's great. It's a great show. It's done by Chris Lord and Phil Miller. Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. Did I say that one right, or did I say that wrong? Did I say Phil Miller and Chris Lord? I don't remember. Okay, anyway. Phil Lord and Chris Miller, brilliant people. This is one of their first things they did, before they went on to Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, the Lego movies, Lego Movie 1, Lego Movie 2, 21 Jump Street, and Spider-Verse. So, they have had a career.
And in Spider-Verse, there's a poster for Clone College.
Which we'll never get because the show was cancelled.
Rest in peace.
We only get 13 episodes of this series, and it's so good.
And it's 13 episodes of sheer gold.
It's amazing.
I didn't know that I wanted this, I knew that it ended, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll sit and watch it. Then I sat and watched it, and I didn't realize that I wanted so much more.
Yeah. Disappointed when it ended.
Right, yeah, so as I said before, the show was cancelled, and because, there's clones, and the main characters are Abe Lincoln, Gandhi, Joan of Arc, and JFK, people weren't a fan of how
Cleopatra.
Gandhi was predicted.
Yeah, Gandhi was portrayed very bad towards the Indian people's perspective.
So they kind of
They kind of cancel cultured it.
yeah, and then and the show wasn't performing too well, so they couldn't really be bothered to keep it around and fight for it, so they just kind of cancelled it.
Yeah. Becomes sort of like a cult classic now.
Oh, what's it saying? The head of Viacom and owner of MTV was visiting the network's India branch and was trapped in the building, according to Miller, in 2014. He recalled that the protesters basically threatened that they'd revoke MTV's broadcasting license in India if they did not take the show off the air.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a... Oof. Right, so...
That's a threat,
Yeah, and they just well, it wasn't performing too well, so we might as well just cancel it.
Yeah.
Right, so let's go through the episodes. There are 13, and episode 1 is Escape from Beer Mountain, a rope of sand.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
A great start.
In desperation to get with the beautiful, popular Cleopatra, Abe is hoping to make a move on her at JFK's party. What a good... Even now, even though it's been months since we watched it, there are so many funny jokes.
Oh, yeah.
You are not going to my party. I'll bring the beer. See you at 8.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. JFK is my favorite character though.
JFK
yeah.
is the best character, hands down,
Played
no
so
competition.
well, and I love it.
Yeah, he is just the best character, and he has the funniest lines,
And the best voice.
and the best voice.
Oh, but I can't remember if this joke was in the first episode or the second episode or something. I can't remember which episode it was in, but Abe was sitting in like a cafe and there's a picture of him getting assassinated and he was
That's
like,
the second one, yeah.
yeah, the second one, yeah.
It's like, if only I just knew the fears that the real Abe Lincoln actually had, then I could maybe get ahead of this.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, Michael J. Fox as... Whoa, snap. Whoa, okay, so in the first episode, notable guest stars, Michael J. Fox as Gandhi's remaining kidney.
Oh, okay.
It's such a random role, but I love it.
It's perfect.
I need to rewatch that. I need to see that.
Yeah.
And it's great, because, like, it's a good episode, too. There's a lot of, like, funny jokes. What was, like, the other one where Cleopatra goes to talk to Abe, and, like, he just stands there with, like... Oh, spoilers for the show, by the way. He just stands there and blood's just pouring out of his arm, because he just pierced himself with glass.
Yeah.
And then she leaves, and he's like, yes, my sideburns are longer.
Oh, and then, like, what was it, the other... there's, like, the other one where it's, like, Scudworth has to go into the party to see what the teens are up to, and he's like, yes, raise the roof! Raise it!
Raise it! Where are
And-
my
and
bitches?
we can't forget about Mr. Butlertron, like
Yeah,
the
Mr.
second best character.
Mr. Butlertron is the second best character in the show.
He's amazing.
Wesley.
Wesley.
He calls everyone Wesley. I don't know why.
And we can't forget the introduction to
Oh my
Scudworth.
god, yeah, like the scene that got me hooked on the show, in which the board of shadowy figures come in. It's like, sir, we might think you're insane. Blasphemy! And then he puts the...
He's wearing like a little paper pirate hat.
He puts it in a drawer of
And-
paper hats.
I'm not as crazy as that tie you're wearing! He's
And
not
his
wearing a
hands
tie.
over, and he's not wearing a tie.
Oh, no, but see, the first episode is a great start.
Yeah, it's really good for introducing the world.
Yeah, and it there was a whole scene where they try to get what's his face? Oh, what's his name? He was like the big guy. I don't remember his name. When they're trying to
Genghis
get the
Khan.
beer. Yeah, Genghis Khan. He's like,
Oh yeah, Genghis
are you
Khan.
21? No! No, like, it has a lot of good jokes and it's a good first episode. Episode 2. Electrician Blue Galoo.
I don't remember much about it except for that one joke.
So, that's... Like, I just want to point out the fact that the, like, Electric Boogaloo is, like, a joke from years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I get that, but I don't know what that's referencing, because I know there's a film called Electric Boogaloo, but it doesn't seem to be a sequel to anything. So, like, I have no idea. I needed to research into that joke. Anyway. So Clea discovers she cannot continue to run for student body president because of the term's limits, so she convinces JFK to run on their behalf. And when Abe sees that Cleo appreciates leaders, he decides to run as well. But the students of the Clone High do not care about real issues, and many are infatuated with JFK. Abe employs a corporate sponsor, Extreme
Blue. I have low self-esteem.
Oh yeah, and then there was Cleopatra in the audience constantly switching shirts between Abe and JFK.
Yeah, and that's what was the funny where it's like the smear campaign against Abe, and it's like an Abe eats babies. I love babies, and then he's
Oh yeah.
and he's like, how did JFK get my spaghetti video?
And then it's got
the,
Joan of Arc in the credits, and then he feels all betrayed.
it almost as painful as the snail that I stepped on.
No, it's
And then there's the guest star of Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson.
Oh yeah,
Singing about the
Marilyn Manson.
The food pyramid.
Yeah, and the food pyramid song. Yeah, I also have like a lot of good, like amazing like guest stars as well.
Yeah.
But there also are very early 2000s guest stars, as you will see in the next episode, which is titled ADD, The Last D's Disorder.
Ooh. Oh yeah, this is the one where Gandhi and Abe make out.
Yeah, when Gandhi
And
is
it's the
dying.
episode
Spoilers.
where I went, wait, I thought this was the kids' show.
Oh, yeah, and there's been a lot of swearing up at this point as well.
I didn't even notice.
Oh goodness. Yeah, that's not it's not a kid show at all.
No, it's really not.
I mean, like, there's a lot of, like, oh. No, but yeah, so in this episode, Gandhi is diagnosed with, like, ADD. The students at Clone High think it's, like, a sex thing.
No,
Or
they
they-
just think it's a disease that they could
Yeah.
catch if they go near him.
Ah, that's right, yeah. And they're just like, did you hear? Did you hear?
Yeah.
And then Abe must decide if he's doing the same or stand by his best dude forever and lose the chance of being with Cleo. Meanwhile, Joan of Arc struggles with living up to the legacy of her 15... That's right. She because, you know, Joan of Arc, the story, she hears God.
Powers in the mix.
Yeah.
And she starts hearing a voice in her head and she thinks it's God. So then she starts advertising mattresses like God is saying. And then she realizes her braces are picking up her radio signal.
Like, how is that even goddamn possible?
I don't know, but it's funny. It's a cartoon.
Yeah, you make a good point.
Although I feel like they perfect that type of episode later on with Joan of Arc and the basketball episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but no. And then at the end of ADD, The Last Years for Disorder, Abe and
Well, Abe runs up and is like gonna show everyone that
it's yeah.
Gandhi isn't infectious and just makes out with him in front of everyone. And JFK, even though he has gay foster parents, he's really, really shocked about it.
Wasn't that like in the first episode? Well, yeah, because I guess
Yeah,
with those two characters would have. Wasn't the first episode it was revealed that like his foster parents are two gay guys, and it's funny where it's like, what are you, too gay to be your old man? It's like, what are you, not gay enough to be your old man? It's like, honey, don't worry about that. He was just born that way. He can't help it.
It's beautiful.
No, I think they're like my favorite foster parents. Although,
Other than Toots.
yeah, Toots is good, and some of the stuff that Abe's father has is also pretty funny, especially near the end of the season. So episode 4, Film Fest, Tears of a Clone. When Abe
Oh,
decides to
yes.
organize the Clone High Student Film Festival, he spends much time working on his movie about a misunderstood football-playing giraffe. Cleo starts in an autobiographical, whatever it's called, epic, and how difficult it is to be perfect and glamorous as her.
Yeah.
Don't-
This episode 4, has one of my favorite jokes in the entire show, and it's
Say
the say what? Say what?
Oh, also, in the last episode, Tom Green played himself, which is why I was saying the very early 2000s guests.
Oh yeah, that's right. Tom Green was there.
He was like a book.
Beautiful.
Anyway, so yes, episode 4. What else? Yeah, so then Joan directs like an avant-garde film which expresses a love for Abe through psychoanalysis drone imagery, which I don't think anyone understood, which was funny. And then Gandhi and George Washington Carver worked together to make the hilarious mixed-race buddy cop action comedy called Black and Tan.
And they even tease a sequel for it.
It's so good.
Oh, also, I forgot to mention, in every episode, it teases the next episode of what's gonna happen, but
Best-
like in
best
a weird, in a weird way. And also, like again, they mention like at the beginning of this one, so it's like tonight in a very special episode of Clone High. And
Yeah.
apparently,
Like,
they did that
next
because
time, but a special
Why we're
episode
recording
of
a
Clone High.
podcast.
yeah, like it's very much like a soap opera type thing that they're making fun of. But like I remember for episode 3, the teaser thing was like a water tower falling down, and that's all we got.
Yeah.
But in this episode, you see the water tower just hit the ground. Because you don't get the same clips, and it's just different. I thought that was really cool.
Very spicy.
JFK plans a film, but never manages to leave the casting couch with his various
Oh,
would-be
yeah.
female co-stars.
Oh yeah.
Or should I say Catherine the
Quiet in here.
So-so?
I'm having sex with Catherine the Great, or should I say Catherine the So-So?
That's another, and then Principal Scudworth starts to panic when his bosses of the secret ballroom shadow figures invite themselves to his house for dinner, but thankfully for him, Mr. Butlertron is there to save the day.
Oh yeah.
We didn't deserve, but we needed.
I barely remember that side of the plot, but that's only because like the rest of it, like there's a lot of really good stuff.
Yeah.
Episode
Next
5.
episode.
No. Episode 5. Sleep of Faith. La Rude Awakening. No, La Rude
Oh.
Awakening.
This has one of the best lines from JFK.
Yeah.
Nothing
So-
bad ever happens to the Kennedy.
Yeah, he just dies or something.
Now his car just flips for like an entire day.
It's so good.
Like it flips and lands, and no one goes to check on him for like an entire day. It's
Yeah,
like,
then Abe wakes up and he finishes the
this
race.
drives right past and finishes. Is that the PXJTs, a parody of the SATs, are right around the corner, but Abe is losing sleep running errands to his beloved Cleo. When Joan keeps trying to warn Abe about his sleep deprivation, a secret of hers is uncovered. Also, Gundy is overwhelmed by the pressure of studying and decides not to take the test and becomes a trucker instead.
Oh yeah!
Which is my
Yeah.
favourite joke in the episode.
Sure.
And then Mr. Butlertron and his old foe battle it out for the last time, which is another good one.
So good.
So it's like that robot with the cord, and he,
The truck driver is one of the best characters
It's-
as well.
it's
Like,
so
a
funny.
single episode.
He's always drinking.
because the whole thing is like, you know, you have the side plot with Abe and stuff, and like he has that whole side plot, but like Gandhi, the reveal that there was never a truck driver in the first place
That
was funny
the
alone.
funniest.
And then you see stuff like him talking to no one, and then the joke builds on with him filling up nothing at a
And
gas
he's driving
station.
along, just floating along
He's
the road.
just floating.
He's just finding on his invisible truck.
It's just so good. That was really funny, and it's such a good show.
Hmm.
Oh goodness. And yeah, Mr. Butlertron stuff, which is funny because it was like the machine needed like, was it like a 2B pencil or what was it? I don't
Scan
remember.
grade, the magnificent.
Oh yeah! And then he put like
Because it had to be like 2B pencils you had to use so it could fuel him, but then like Mr. Butlertron puts in like a 3B pencil thing, and he's like, "No, my weakness."
And they have this epic robot fight.
so good.
Oh, it's so good.
Better than Endgame.
Okay. And in episode 6, Homecoming, a shot in the arc.
Oh well.
Oh, this one. Since the CHSS basketball team refuses to allow girls or animals to play,
Oh yeah!
the athletic Joan decides to cleverly disguise herself as John d'Arc and becomes a star player. Clear then falls for d'Arc, making team captain Abe weakest Lincoln jealous. But Cleo
Nice.
is not the only one who falls for John. As a fellow athlete, JFK finds himself having confusing sexual feelings about the whole affair, which leads to another
Dad,
great joke.
Can I watch Will and Grace with you?
Meanwhile, Gandhi and Genghis Khan kidnap a mascot of Clone High's rival, a genetically engineered superhuman high.
Oh, Zeshi.
Oh, Zeshi!
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
Zeshi.
God!
That's so beautiful.
Oh, that's...
Doesn't it go on a mass killing spree?
No, because, yeah, so what happens is that the whole... Yeah, so... They kidnap it, then they go to unzip it and just find organs, and they realize it's like a real being, because the rival high school to Clone High is genetically engineered superhuman high, which
Oh,
is so
yeah.
funny. And it's so good because like, so then Gandhi and Zephyr become best friends, and then like he's like, "I'm sorry, dude, I just gotta let you go. We can still be friends. It's just you gotta go back." And then he
Yeah.
just leaves off and then eats like half a horse.
Yeah!
It just starts consuming things, and I think I turned to you going, "A kid's show, eh?"
Yeah!
Oh, it's such a good. Oh, and then yeah, and then like the whole.
You see Gash, and it's very subtle. It's a very subtle nod to I'll let you actually look at it. I won't spoil it because it's just yeah. when they actually go to Gesh High. Yeah.
Oh, someone did fan art and there's a lot of blood and stuff everywhere. That's adorable.
Oh, so cute and wholesome.
A room of one's clone. The Pie of Storm. A storm's a brewing when Joan's house burns down. Her family has no choice but the... Oh wait, no, hang on. That's a different episode. Episode before, sorry. Episode 7. Plain Crazy. Gate expectations. Abe and Clear's new relationship is threatened when she picks up... When she is picked to be on a Canadian spring break dance show hosted by Ashley Angel from O-Town. Like, you know, the actual guy. And where I lost my place.
Well,
Meanwhile, Gunny becomes an international rap sensation with the help of JFK and his manager. Also, Principal Scuttworth is constantly being tricked by a pesky skunk.
Oh boy, dude, the Christmas album.
Oh yeah, JFK's got a Christmas album. Speaking of, guess what's coming around the corner? Christmas. Guess what we're gonna listen to?
Christmas album.
JFK's Christmas album. That's so good.
So good. Anyway, yeah, Cleo, she goes to do the thing, overseas or whatever.
That's what I was
and then Abe gives her like a shirt to wear in the advertisement that she's supposed to be in, and she doesn't wear it, or at least that's what it seems like, and he gets all really angry and mad about it, and it's just beautiful. Oh no, what is that?
That's the school, that's the rival school.
Oh yeah! God damn it.
Genetically engineered. Yeah, again, I recommend watching the show. It's all on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description. It's just great.
Yeah. And all the long runs towards Cleo at the airport.
That was that's what I was laughing at. It's so funny. He's like, Cleo,
wait! All celebrities being hairless, and they just edit on the eyebrows.
Yeah.
And there's like 3 or 4 points in the episode where what's his name?
Eyebrows are just wiggling.
Yeah, his eyebrows are going crazy.
Yeah, that's funny. No, but the oh yeah, but it's like, Cleo, wait, and like he runs in. I think he leaves and he runs in again, and like he drives in, and like he just like does like 5 different things, and it's so and then
that what's the guy that Cleo went to do the job with?
What's his face? Ashley Angel.
Yeah, he went in singing Cleo.
Also, this Neil Finn, I don't know, who's this actor? He sounds very familiar. Oh, shoot, yeah, the janitor from Scrubs. Yeah, he's like the guest star in every episode.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he plays Moses, Julius Caesar, he's just in every episode, and a boy auditioning. So, like, yeah, he's like the, wow, that's very interesting, okay. Yeah, that's another really funny episode, Plain Crazy. Episode 8, A Room of One's Clone, A Pie in the Storm. So Joan's house gets burnt down, the family has no choice to move in with Cleo's, where conflict ensues. Abe attends the conflict meditation seminar to learn how to effectively resolve disputes between the two. Gandhi and JFK find themselves in an escalating argument. Meanwhile, Mr. Butler Trump becomes jealous when Principal Scudworth forms a relationship with a robotic toy dog.
Oh yeah, the dog.
Yeah.
Also,
isn't this the episode where they do like the whole chase scene?
Yes, with all like swapping clothes and everything.
Oh yeah, the chase scene.
No, this is like it's the whole. Oh, what was it? Because then the last episode, what they started to do is they started to swap around like the next week on Clone High. Like, it legitimately did not match up.
Yeah.
So, like
they would show...
The teaser for episode 8 was in episode 6. The teaser for episode 9 was in episode 7.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, the teaser for episode 8... No, well, yeah, the teaser for episode... At the end of episode 8 was like the teaser for episode 7. It was just weird.
So strange. I got confused thinking that they put it out of order, but
yeah, that's what. Yeah, again, we were like, "Is this out of order?" But no, it was, and it was really weird. And
correct order.
I suppose a joke as well.
Yeah.
No, but that was a good episode, and it had. I think that's like when you really start to like you see the relationship between Irish
That
Red
was
episode.
like massive hints.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good that was a good one. Episode 9, Raising the Stakes, a rock opera in 3 acts. This has the notable guest star Jack Black as Larry
yeah!
Hardcore
Oh, yes.
slash the Pusher. After an anti-drug assembly at the school, a rumor goes around that one could get high off smoking raisins, leading to the clones embarking on a mystical journey of intoxication and irresponsibility.
Puts the high in clone high.
Misread that as like an irresponsibly long hair. Sober Joan is trying to keep Abe from turning into a drugged out hippie, while Principal Scudworth and the PTA build a giant wall to attempt to fence off the students.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
And-
that's right.
And it has my favorite, one of my favorite Gundy type jokes. It's like, meanwhile, Gundy goes on a raisined out subconscious mind trip where he encounters a hummingbird, unicorn, donkey creature, a two-headed Olsen twins monster, a talking Italian pencil, and a stereotypical Australian dragon, which is not voiced
That-
by an Australian.
But it's so
that
good.
dragon though is fantastic.
On
Never
his
had Vegemite.
What?
Vegemite, on his quest to rescue the princess who he believes will have sex with him. So my favorite joke in the thing is like, when Scott was like, we have this drug problem, and then Gundy's foster parents like, Gundy would never do such a thing. Also, on an unrelated note, he has been missing for 5 days.
Yeah.
That was a good episode. I think it was funny at the end that they get the parents hooked on the raisins, and then all the teens are like, oh, the parents are doing it. Nah, we're not going to do it anymore.
Yeah, that's uncool.
It's uncool, which is really funny.
Yeah.
And then I think, oh man, we're coming close to the end. That really sucks. Episode 10, Litter Kills, literally,
Oh yes.
which has such a gruesome death as well.
It's so amazing.
JFK's longtime best friend, Ponce de Leron, literally dies.
I know.
Yeah.
And it was actually
See it
kind of
all
sad.
happen.
It was so disturbing. It was like very gory too.
But
This-
JFK at the funeral, he starts crying. He gets into the coffin with and a second later he's like, I'm in a coffin with a dead body, and he just runs out screaming.
I forgot about that one. I was thinking the other one where like, it's like, Pons, you're alive. No, I'm your conscience. It's like, are you a
You're a
genie?
genie.
Are you a genie? No, I wish for my best friend. Pons, you're alive. Oh no, it's great. Yeah, so he literally tries causing JFK to sink into a spiral of depressing. This causes tension between, yeah, and then like the best expression that JFK does in the entire series.
That was my profile picture for a while.
It's just genuine joy. Oh, hang on, was it an episode? It was in one of the end of the episodes where it's like a teasing something. And it's like, and something's gonna happen to Gandhi, and like they'll tell you something that's like, and look at Abe, old innocent Abe, and he just had the most wholesome picture.
I know.
Yeah.
I need to find that because I'm thinking about making that one my profile picture. Because it was just such a good picture, and like it was so funny because it's like, oh, wholesome Abe. Yeah, so this causes tension between Abe and Clear, who attempts to comfort JFK, her former boyfriend during his grief. Meanwhile, Gunny is mistakenly sent to death row where he has trouble getting high fives, but makes new friends in the showers.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I don't even remember that subplot. Like, that just completely... I just don't have any memory of it.
Yeah, I can only remember a little bit of it, but
I can remember, like, a screenshot of him trying to get high fives and him being in a shower, but that's about it. Oh, no, that's right, because this is the joke, like, they're all best friends now,
oh yeah.
and nothing bad happens.
Nothing bad happens to best friend.
Oh, but, what was it, So, yeah, this was the episode I'm like, oh, jeez, this show can get gory. And then we get to the next episode, episode 11, Snowflake Day, a very special holiday episode.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
In his
One.
politically correct Snowflake Day season, and everyone is in the holiday spirit except for Joan, who is against commercialism of this made-up holiday. But a homeless urchin who may or may not be pop star sensation Mandy Moore teaches Joan the important lesson. Meanwhile, Abe and Gandhi attempt to invent and market an interesting device so that Abe will have money to buy a clear and expensive Snowflake Day gift. Notable guest star, Mandy Moore as herself, and then the episode begins with a 1973 CBS special presentation bumper parody. Oh, it was yeah, this was gory as well because they were trying to invent like this like knife fork thing.
Oh yeah, the knife.
Yeah.
And it kept cutting his lip, and it was just like flapping around, like no, cutting his cheek, as it just kept flapping around as he was talking. And I'm like, oh, I hate it.
It's so
And then
beautiful.
there was the part before. There was the part before where he had the chef. He dropped the glass and it broke, and the chef in charge of where he worked ordered him to eat it, and he did. And he's just pieces of glass sticking out of his mouth.
Oh yeah.
Sonic says that's no good.
And then there was
yeah, but-
and then there was the little finger food things with raisins. Because Joan tried to sabotage Cleo's Snowflake Day party, so she put the raisins in the.
Oh yeah, and then Gabe's like, oh, you guys gotta try this. I heard it's like either that he's like, oh, my lip again, or he's like, oh, my cheek again. He just gets cut. It happens like so many times, and their invention is like real funny and real dumb. No, it was a good episode.
Yeah. The screenshot I could find of the Knork, that's what it's called,
Oh yeah, the Conor.
The Knorr.
is this one. Beep 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 beep.
Oh yes.
In the video, I'll try when like certain images come up. I'll just try. I'll edit around them so I'll have the images in the episode or in this thing. You know, it is a very special episode.
It is very
It's a
special.
special episode. Oh no.
I like that Snowflake Day aired in April of 2003.
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense because that's according to. Okay, so that says according to like Wikipedia, but then like the last episode airs March 2nd of 2003. So like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, wow, oh jeez. So episode 12, makeover, the makeover
Yes.
episode. Oh god, his lip. It's like, oh, I keep saying lip, I mean cheek. Well,
Yeah.
the knife
You know what
portion
this
seems to
means?
have sliced open my cheek.
Okay,
You know
episode
what
12.
this calls for?
I can't remember much about episode 12.
Episode 12, okay, so
I was
Ethan,
around for like the prom time
Ethan, who do you want to be, Cleopatra or Joan?
Ooh. I'll let you be.
No, I think I'll go Cleopatra because like your voice is like much more like the less. I don't know. As in like in this Discord thing, it's just much more like like it's not very hyper, I guess.
Yeah.
Fair
It's like-
enough.
Do you know what this means?
Suicide.
Makeover. My favorite joke of the episode. One of my favorite jokes of the season. Because
Yeah.
like 2 times earlier in the episode, it's like
Makeover.
makeover. It's like with prom night not too far away, Abe wants to ask his girlfriend Cleo, but cannot stop thinking about Joan's prom date situation. Meanwhile, Gandhi goes through the desperate search for a date. So Abe and Cleo each have a go at making over Joan for prom. JFK gives Gandhi a makeover, and Mr. B gives Scudworth a makeover, which helps him execute a sinister evil plan to win prom king vote.
Yes. From
So-
John's statement.
Isn't this the episode where JFK basically turned Gandhi into a little mini JFK?
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
Sapa. I want the party play.
No, and it's just like the other because Abe goes to make over Joan, and she looks like a cyborg.
Yeah. And then she gets really upset about it.
Yeah, you really feel bad for like Joan throughout the series, just because of the whole Joan likes Abe, and Abe does not see it because he's like ignorant.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's especially in this one episode, like, oh geez, man, like, come on. It's like me well done, yeah, and then that was again, Mr. B and Scudworth, like, you kind of like reading through these descriptions, we're not really talking about them that much. Like, don't get me wrong, they have their moments, like in episode 1, and then the one with the skunk, because they did Looney Tune logic, but he had real life logic. So like he got hit with like fire and his face was burnt. Oh no, we forgot the joke.
What joke?
Oh my goodness, how can we forget? I think it was episode 4. The reason there's a film festival, I think, is the whole
Oh yeah.
so they're doing cross country. This is like the best joke of the season.
How did we miss that?
It's like a cross
We're
country.
stupid. We haven't watched it in ages.
And also the fact that like it doesn't have any part of the description, any of it.
Yeah.
And so what happens is that so it has this cross country event, and then like they win, and it starts to riot. So like Genghis Khan flips an entire pool, and then it just sets on fire.
It's beautiful.
And then the board of shadowy figures was like, we cannot allow this to happen again. And Scud was like, did you see the pool? They flipped the bitch.
But the pool is great. But then you got like the smashing glass.
Yeah, smashing glass. Like, what was it? Like smashing bricks with glass.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that's right. They smashed. Isn't that JFK?
Yeah, it's JFK.
Like it's just fantastic.
Right. Physics.
No, it's such a good show.
Anyway, it had to sort of end on a pretty okay bang because it didn't realize it was going to get cancelled, but it still ended alright. So
episode 13 changes dash the big prom. Changes the big prom, the sex romp, the season final, or otherwise known as the final.
The final.
As all the clones are preparing for the winter prom, Abe decides whether to ask Cleo or Joan.
I love you.
Not yet. Gandhi constructs a brilliant plan to get dates for all the school geeks, and Principal Scudworth attempts to execute a sinister evil plan while the secret board of shadowy figures prepare to abduct the clones on prom night in advance with their own evil plan. Because they're like, Scudworth is not doing anything good, he's just making everything bad.
That's what he's good at, though.
The start of the episode, like the preview before, just showed Abe kneeling down before this silhouette. It's like, will you go to the prom with me? Clear. And then the start of the episode, he's like, will you go to the prom with me? Clear. Sorry, lung in my throat. Will you go with me? Joking aside, Cleo.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's the whole because it was like the whole issue is like, man, I don't know who to go for, Cleopatra or Joan, and then his father's like, you're dating Cleopatra. Go with Cleopatra. And then he does like the whole thing with like his like, oh, you just like the sex, like the hand symbol for sex, but he uses his entire fist and arm.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hold on.
Yikes.
It's just.
I have that GIF. There it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna play the GIF. Like, it's just, oh my god.
It's so beautiful. Just.
Like, it's just, oh. Yeah, and that was like, and the prom's at like this meat freezer place. Because, like, of course, at this, like, really crappy school is just gonna have it at, like, a meat freezer.
So, yeah, Joan
Scudworth
didn't ask her, right? So JFK actually becomes a slightly good character in that one moment.
Like he like because the JFK is like an actual good person, except for like and not the womanizer thing that he is.
And he thinks he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Even though he goes and bangs Joan of Arc.
Oh, but before that, because Cleo and Abe go to do the do, and
he sees like Joan of Arc's face on her tits.
I get it, and like, oh, it's insane that like they get around nudity with that. That's
I know it's so
oh
good. Just floating Joan of Arc.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh my god, and then they do that, and then he's like, I gotta go, and then like there's a whole, and then like everyone's doing everything, and then the military burst in.
But you forget about Scudworth trying to win the prom king over John Stamos.
Oh yeah, John Stamos was there.
Stamos, that's right.
And then he comes in at the last minute and wins prom king anyway.
He's like,
Yeah.
no!
Doesn't Scudworth like try to actually murder John Stamos?
I think he stabs him.
He stabs him in the eye with the crown.
John Stamos ends up like saving Scudworth or whatever.
And I'm just thinking of the ending, and I'm so sad.
I know, right?
The end. Oh, I didn't expect to be this sad again.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
Because they go into the
They go into a room, which is the freezer, in which
and
Abe,
he's,
Joan
Joan of
JF,
Arc, okay.
and he's like, and then like, what did Abe say? He's like, you guys are doing it.
And then as they're freezing,
No, because like before that happens, so then everyone just starts running in the room, and I think
Everyone conga lines into the room.
everyone conga lines into the room. I think it was John Stamos is trying to like save the clones from like the military.
yeah.
So he like freezes like because he's like, I'll help you guys. Even he's such a nice guy, even though being stabbed in the eye.
Yeah.
I don't remember what Scudworth does, but I'm pretty sure he's in the room as well.
Scudworth's...
Inside the room, he watches it.
Yeah.
Because he wants it to happen, so he gets John Stamos to do it. And he's like, okay then, and he freezes the room, and it's so sad because
But then Abe tries to confess his love for Joan of Arc, but he just goes, "I love you."
as he
And then it just ends.
and as everyone freezes, and the show just ends.
And that's it. We never get anything else. Nothing more.
It even ends as like a to be continued question mark.
Yeah. Oh, it's so sad. I'm so sad now. I miss it so much.
Earlier in the episode, after Abe left Cleo, Gandhi found out that Cleo was naked and sexually unsatisfied. So he's like, "I'm gonna go in," and he's just on stilts.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Like,
very nice.
it's such a good show with such a good theme song. And like you could bring it back, maybe.
They won't.
They can't and they won't, but it could work.
It-
Because like the actors are still working, I'm pretty sure. I know that the actor who played Abe Lincoln is playing Shaggy in the new Scooby-Doo movie that's coming out.
Yeah.
Look, what do you think of you guys' favorite episodes?
My favorite was definitely the first episode.
It's a tough choice.
That's why I said episodes and not just one, because I don't have one.
Can I pick
Yeah, no.
13?
Fair enough.
Yeah, 13 is good. I'm definitely gonna go with
As in all 13?
I'm gonna go with episode
All
10,
13 years.
episode 13, and what's the other one that I really liked?
Is it 4?
And then I think there's like just Gandhi and the trucker is just so funny.
Oh,
Episode
yeah.
5. Like yeah, so those are. Look, even though we've said so much about the show, there's so much that we haven't. Like I think there was one scene where a helicopter, I don't remember what episode it is, a helicopter comes down and just starts decapitating students' heads,
Oh, yeah, that's
and it's
right.
historically accurate.
But there's a lot of stuff that's visual. And
If you're a history buff, this is also a show for you because there's a lot of
yeah,
history
definitely.
jokes.
It's so good. Full of good memes.
Right. So on that note, where can people find you?
I'm on YouTube, Pantherpod.
You can't.
That's fair.
I mean, you could find me on Twitter, but Ethan, a good one to say for that is like you could find me way back in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Find him in any trash can.
That's fair enough.
We got a shout from the Academy of Geekery.
Well, thanks for watching, and
Next time on
Goodbye.
a very special episode
so
of TV
retrospective. Yeah, let's do one of those. Oh,
We'll be retrospective about TV.
no, but like you have one for each person, where it's like, will Eric upload a YouTube video?
I don't know, will I?
Will anyone be able to find Ethan?
Will Conor ever stop being a little baby boy?
The answer to the last one is no.
Will Hunting for Rabbits 4 get a Grammy?